The DA announced further mayoral candidates standing for election in municipalities across the Western Cape to keep our towns and cities working and delivering. En die kandidaat vir die Overstrand is Clinton Lerm. So Clinton is visiting us today here between the lines. Tell us more about his leadership style. Clinton, welcome with the Radio Overberg family.
Dankie Annette en dankie aan jou luisteraars. It's in fact a great privilege for me to be hosted by you. Yeah, my leadership style, I think I would consider myself to still be youthful. I'm only turning 50 this year.
Wow.
So in the bigger landscape of politicians, I think 50 is still very much youthful.
Yes.
I'm energetic. I'm an out-of-the-box thinker. I like to get things done. I can't sit still very long. I need to keep myself busy. I've also got a very active wife that will help me when I fall short. So I definitely have the feminine touch also due to the fact of my wife's role in my life. So I think that is more or less in a nutshell my leadership style.
Thank you, and thank you, wifey. We really appreciate the woman standing behind the successful man.
Yeah, well, I can't do it without it, to be quite honest with you. In this type of role and in my previous roles, and even just as a role as a normal counsellor, it's taxing. You need that shoulder.
I want to talk to you about accountability. I mean, we're living in a time where service delivery remains a major concern. What would accountability mean for you in your leadership role when it comes to service delivery?
I'm very much an inclusive person. I think accountability means that there's co-governance with myself, with the different political parties, and also with ratepayers and taxpayers and all these organizations. If they don't help with the co-governance, it doesn't really work. It's also far better communication needs to be created. I mean, if you're talking about accountability and you don't have communication, it is critical to have the right communication strategy going forward with your residents and your voters. And one of the things I'm envisaging on doing is having selective committees of expertise in our areas to help with this. For instance, have an environmental committee, because we've got such an amazing area that we live in, not just Overstrand but Overberg, and there's a wealth of national and international knowledge just sitting there to be tapped into. And those are the type of people I'll bring into committees to assist. And another one would be infrastructure. I mean, there's always issues with infrastructure, and we've got lots of engineers and big civil engineer, retired CEOs that hopefully will lend me their ears and be able to assist. Land use is one, and then last but definitely not least, and there will be more, but tourism. I mean, Overstrand is still very much tourism driven. We're a tourism driven area, and that is one of the major job creators in our area. So I think that will definitely be accountability. Means co-govern, and communication must be far better.
Definitely. I want to touch on the tourism. We just finished now with WTM Africa, which is part of Africa Travel Week. And we heard that tourism has really sparked and it's booming, but we do also have an accountability to when it comes to our tourists for all of us to stand together. And like the alderman said, that it's a teamwork. We all need to work together.
You see, the value chain is extremely important, and my background is tourism. I'm before people might now see me as a politician, but I'm invested in tourism with a number of tourism businesses across South Africa, with almost 400 staff working for me. So I know how to delegate very well. But the value chain is of extreme importance. Whether it is your short-term rental or your restaurant or your diversification in the different types of restaurant, South Africa, and I mean for all of us that travel overseas, and I keep saying this, when I land at the airport after a holiday, I'm thankful to be back in South Africa. No matter which destination it was, the ice is the best. Our area and the Westkop is the best.
Yeah. When we talk about accountability, I think transparency and accountability guys quite hand in hand.
Correct. And I think, again, communication. And I will keep coming back to communication because I think one of my strong points is the fact that I can communicate effectively and immediately. I don't wait too long for something to be addressed. Otherwise, it runs into a direction of its own and creates its own little demons. But things like that, for instance, I will immediately institute online council meetings. I mean, at this stage, the technology is there. And why would you want people to come and sit in a council meeting if they can watch the council meetings or the mayoral committee meetings from the comfort of their home? That is something that I think is pivotal to making things transparent. But because the problem is, you have one or two people attending a council meeting, not understanding how it works or how the structure works, and that's unfortunately sometimes the messaging that goes out there is completely incorrect. So live, open broadcast of all of our council meetings, and that's essential. And then dedicated monthly interactions with our Overstrand administration by my side. There used to be a thing in Overstrand called a Thursday. I'm going to institute something very similar to that again, where residents from each area will have an opportunity where I go with the municipal manager and all the different people in the heads of departments and our different MACO members and sit and listen to what the quell points are. A lot of these things are actual things that are very easy and accessible to fix. Some are unfortunately long-term visions. I keep saying to people who are very enthusiastic about my appointment, we'll have to draw up a list of the short-term goals, the mid-term goals, and what I would call the dreams, because the dreams are big bulk infrastructure investments and things that people see in the future, not immediate, possibly not even in my term, but if we don't have that vision, I'm a long-term vision person, if we don't have that, we will not get in front of the problems that we have.
And I think it's important for governing and for municipalities to also see the value of media and how important it is to get the right message out to the public, because like you say, that sometimes it's wrong messages that goes out there. So I think a very close working relationship with your media people in the area is very important as well.
It is extremely, and I must be honest with you, I've got an exceptional good relationship with, I would say, 99% of the media houses. Also, in my own private capacity, I from ENCA all the way through down the value chain, I've had interactions with them. And media is extremely important because the media can also question and also hold you accountable for what you are doing. And transparent and open media, I welcome anytime.
I just want to touch on corruption. It's a word that we are using a lot lately. How will you make sure that corruption is not part of your team and your municipality?
Well, despite what people might say about politicians and despite if there's people with preconceived notions of me, I'm a person of zero tolerance for corruption. There will be absolutely no corruption. But unfortunately, in an era where we have all these social media warriors, it's not easy once misinformation hits out and goes out. But the beauty of it is we've got SAPs, you've got all these state arms where you can lay claims and you can actually, not just, but it needs to be factual, that you can go to a police station and say, listen, this and this person did that, let's do that. But the fact is we're also very strictly governed by the MFMA with where councillors and myself as a possible future mayor of Overstrand can govern and where we can overstep our boundaries. So I'm strictly going to stick to the application of the law, and there's a reason why those laws are in South Africa.
Wonderful. Voters are used to continuous promises to get their vote. How can we ensure voters that their vote does mean something more than just that mark on a paper?
You see, local government is where service delivery happens. And it's the first sign of voting for the wrong political parties is in your service delivery aspect. You can take a look at a number of areas where that's gone wrong, where the voters vote and afterwards service delivery doesn't go much better. And even in coalitions, this is quite a bit of a struggle because in coalitions you get personalities and you don't necessarily get to the service delivery as the must. No matter the person or personality, the DA has structures and a very strong constitution, and soos hulle in Afrikaans sê 'n baie sterk onderbou. So even if you do not like the mayor or you do not like a person, the fact of the matter is the retention of the value chain within the DA is there. And that also reflects on the party's goals. That's one of the only parties that's truly consider it to be part of a Rainbow Nation party, where if you look at all of our structures from low to high, it's very much a mix. So I would encourage people to vote. If you haven't voted, you are doing yourself a disservice. Every single voter should register and vote. It's a pity it can't be in legislation that you need to vote, but I feel so strongly about it that I think you're missing that opportunity to make a difference. And sometimes there's been wards and smaller wards where a single vote or a handful of votes actually turn a whole municipality either into a coalition or an outright government, and then you wonder where were those extra 10 or 15 votes to have turned this into the right direction. So every single vote counts.
And it's more than your privilege, it's also your responsibility to vote.
Correct. And as I said, if it was up to me, it would almost be a law that if you are going to participate in South Africa and be an active citizen, which I very strongly believe in, it's active citizenry, you need to vote.
I want you to finish this sentence for me. A municipality that works is one where, and you can even put your promise to the people in your aim in this one sentence as well. But what does it mean? A municipality that works is one where?
I think a municipality that works is one where there's an active community participation, and it's encouraged as well via your politicians and via your municipality, and it also that we grow stronger together as a community, for all in the community, ensuring a better future for everybody. That, I would say, is what I would leave there.
Sure,
thank you.
Thank you very much. That was the voice of Clinton Lerm. He is the mayoral candidate for the Overstrand area. And are you also stay in the Overstrand?
I live in Annette. I've been here for the last 25 years. I've actually seen gravel roads in this CBD of the town. The Overstrand has been mine and my family's playground for many, many years. My boys cycle. We're up in the nature reserves. We love the area. So we are very much an outdoor family, and this is our home. I've lived here longer than I've lived anywhere else in South Africa.
Before I let you go, what is the greatest matter of concern for you in the Overstrand area at the moment?
The affordability for the middle class and entry-level houses for the first-time homeowners. I think that is a big problem, especially, and it's not just an Overstrand problem or a Hermanus problem. It's a Western Cape problem where we've become so successful. Our local residents are actually being pushed out. I've got a very, very strong or fondness, if I can put it that way, for our pensioners. I'm very concerned that our pensioners cannot afford the houses where they moved into 10 or 15 years ago due to just how everything has crept up. And it's unfortunately not something one can keep back. I mean, the other massive thing that I need to look at is also long-term infrastructure planning with regards to our water losses and our infrastructure that is getting old. We need funding from national and provincial government to also assist us with that. So those are my priorities.
Thank you so much, and good luck. We like what you're saying, so we hope that you are going to have great success, not only as a candidate, but actually in the role as mayor. So we're looking forward to hearing the results.
Baie dankie. Baie dankie Annette, en ek hoop om weer met jou te praat. Baie dankie vir die geleentheid.
Baie dankie. Dankie, lekker dag verder. Bye.
Okay, tot ziens.
Bye.
Meet Rapid Dawn outsourcing specialists. With over 20 years of industry experience, they're perfectly positioned to guide you through the fourth industrial revolution. From employee contracts and BEE certificates to company registrations and tax directives, Rapid Dawn handles all your tax-related services with precision and care. They also offer life and short-term insurance solutions, as well as expert IT contractor placements, remuneration and tax structuring. Contact Rapid Dawn today at valerie@rapid-dawn.co.za or visit rapid-dawn.co.za. Let's work together.